Some of our guys didn't practice on yesterday. Dejon sat out. Riley and Corbin, that was a coach's decision. They're not injured. It was more for maintenance. But the rest of our guys got on the court in practice. Long film session, good practice. Now everybody will be available for practice today, and hopefully we can carry over some of the things that we learned from our first 2 games and our extensive video session.
Thank you, Coach. Go ahead and take some questions. Just raise your hand and we'll get a microphone over to you. Let's start with Cecil on the back.
Coach Braxton scored 15 points and was really kind of, it sometimes in the second half looked like the go-to guy in your offense to create some offense. Is he ahead of where you projected him to be in terms of his offensive production?
Yeah, a little bit ahead. He's playing with a lot of confidence, and what you're seeing in the games is a byproduct, Cecil, of what he does in practice. Over the last, 2 weeks, he's been awfully good in practice. I like his progression. He's improved his conditioning, his mental focus. He's been much more consistent. So I like where he is right now, and he's doing a good job of coming off the bench, being a spark for us.
Go left side with Alex.
You obviously, we talked about the offensive rebounds. I think the total was 18-5 in your favor this last game, but not a lot of second chance opportunities. How did you focus on that, trying to, when you do get those offensive rebounds, convert and make points out?
Yeah, it's very important that when we get those offensive rebounds, we need to go back up and finish properly with aggression and get the ball in the basket or get fouled. The one thing we're not doing is when we get those offensive rebounds, we're not kicking it out for wide open 3-point shots. Sometimes guys, when they get those offensive rebounds, are engaged with 2 and 3 defenders, and we're not making smart decisions. So I like the idea for us that we got 18 offensive rebounds. We just got to make better decisions when we get them.
Go stay on that side of the mic.
With the guys sitting out, was that stuff from the catapult system? Was that what helped you influence to have some of these guys sit out?
Mike, I just think in Dejon's case, he played 37 minutes. So I would hope that one of my strengths is reading situations, and if a kid that's just coming off of an ankle surgery played 37 minutes, it's probably not a good idea to force him into a 3-hour-long practice, and then he'll have to practice today and get ready for the game on Friday. So with all of those guys, it was just more of a maintenance situation. Corbin's left forearm's been bothering him a little bit, nothing major. And Riley probably has about 5 different ailments, but just trying to manage those guys to help them where they can recover a little bit and be available for practice on today and ready to have all of their energy on Friday.
Talking to Dante Hall, he was talking about shooting 15-footer, and Riley was even talking about him trying some 3-pointers in practice. Does he have a green light for that?
No green light for the 3-pointers. We don't have that in our offense yet. What he does have a green light for is when he gets an offensive rebound in the paint, he has the green light to go back up and dunk it.
How far has he come, I guess, offensively since last year?
I think a lot of times guys, we want guys to expand and grow their games and get better. But I think what happens sometimes is guys forget about what the main thing is. What's the entree? Okay? All right, I got a lot of restaurants here that I love in Tuscaloosa. They've probably opened up 3 new ones since I've been here. And when I go to those restaurants, I'm focused on a particular entree, okay? And that's what I stick with. But with basketball players, especially young guys, we want them to expand their game, but don't forget about the reason why you got where you are today. With Dante, shot blocking and rebounding.
Let's go to the right side, go over to Tony.
Coach, you mentioned people like Dejon getting a lot of minutes. How taxing was this last game, both physically and mentally, for your team?
I think we'll know a lot more tomorrow how taxing it was. I figured we would be in one of 2 positions. We would play well and potentially have the open the door for complacency on Friday, or we would lose a tough game and we would have to have the mental toughness and the recovery and stamina to get back up off the mat and get ready to play on Friday. That's where we are. The last game, even though, like I said, people that are not experts of the game may think that the game came down to the last minute or two, we were up 10-2 and made 2 critical errors on defense that led to 3-pointers. So that could have been a 14-2 lead, 14-4 lead. So we just have to do a better job of having consistent patterns of staying focused. There was a situation, I think it was 43-39, we made 2 system errors. So we're going to get better, but we just got to stick with it and get back off the mat and get ready to play on Friday.
Let's go to Charlie.
You mentioned the 3 guys sitting out yesterday. Was Brandon Austin able to go, and
Yes.
give an update on him?
Oh, good question. Brandon, Charlie practiced yesterday, and he's recovered well, so he'll get back in practice today, and we'll see how he feels for the game on tomorrow. But he didn't have any restrictions or limitations in practice on yesterday.
Go back on the left side over to Alex.
2 questions. One kind of lighthearted. You mentioned your favorite restaurants. You have several. Do you want to give us kind of a breakdown of what places you recommend and what are some good spots, good entrees to eat?
I'll tell you that privately. Yeah, I'll tell you that one privately. I don't want to get in trouble with the university because we have, certain restaurants and sponsors and supporters, and I don't want to upset anybody.
Good point. Okay, serious question though. Shooting was obviously an issue in this last game, especially making the shots. Took plenty, but is there anything you can do to kind of, create some of that and force the ball to go in, sort of thing? You talked about, especially in practice, there were several times the ball went in and out. Is there something you can kind of create?
So I just think we got to stay aggressive to take our shots with confidence. But I would say in the Dayton game specifically, we probably took a minimum of 15 contested shots. And that's not good. 15 contested shots where basically they're under our jerseys and we're still trying to shoot it. So we just got to do a better job of reading situations, moving the ball, making the extra pass when it's available.
We have time for another question or two there already. Let's go back over to Cecil.
Coach, just looking at Ball State, statistically, they look like they're kind of an inside-outside team with I guess, Sellers on the outside, House on the inside. Could you give us a little scouting report?
Yes, I think it's a little bit different. I think they're more of an outside-inside team. Historically, Cecil, they have been a three-point shooting team. And when you look at, guys like Persons and Weber and all of their guys shoot threes. One of their 6'11" guys that come off the bench, Teague, 6'11", left-handed, he's a three-point shooter. So obviously House works inside, Moses works inside. Those guys do a great job on the boards, and House is a guy that you got to defend on the box, but he's also starting to take and make threes. So I think it's kind of the flip of that. We have to do a better job of defending the three-point line, rebounding the basketball so they won't get those kickouts for threes that we actually would love to have a few more of. And we have to do a good job of defending their penetration. Persons, their point guard, is an outstanding looking sophomore. He's a guy that transferred there, and he breaks down your defense. He's a handful. 26 points in their last game. So we're going to have to do a good job of containing him, because if you don't contain him, that's another way that they get three-point shots.
Any other questions for Coach? All right,
All right,
thank you all.
thanks. Yeah.